Ladies and gentlemen, please find your seats. The program will begin shortly.
When it comes to AI, there's something big happening. The smallest things are creating giant revolutions. At Worldwide Technology, we're at the forefront of AI. With our one-of-a-kind AI proving ground, cyber range, and full-stack approach, you can build, test, protect, and implement AI solutions that deliver for you and your customers in a big way. Worldwide Technology. Together, let's make a new world happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please find your seats. The program will begin shortly. Thank you. Welcome to the 19th Baya Stars and Stripes Award Ceremony and Dinner, live from the Baltimore Convention Center in Baltimore, Maryland. Representing 5 military branches and careers spanning decades, the founders of the Baya Stars and Stripes Awards program. Brigadier General Belma Richardson, United States Army. SES, Mr. Theodore Brown, United States Army. SES, Mr. Jesse McCurdy, United States Navy. Lieutenant General Ronald Coleman, United States Marine Corps. General Lester Lyles, United States Air Force. General Johnny Wilson, United States Army. Chairman Emeritus Vice Admiral Walter Davis, United States Navy. Founder and host, Major General Ronald Johnson, United States Army. And National Chairman of the Baya Military Alumni Committee, Vice Admiral Anthony Wins, United States Navy. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are able, please rise for the presentation of colors by the Maryland National Guard, Color Guard, and the playing of the national anthem by the 229th Maryland Army National Guard Band, sung by Miss Clarissa Rosen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The 2024 BEA Stars and Stripes Award Ceremony and Dinner is sponsored by conference co-host Lockheed Martin, the Council of Engineering Deans of the Historically Black Colleges and Universities, the U.S. Black Engineer and Information Technology Magazine, conference technology host, Google, conference co-sponsors, Excellent, RTX, official airline, Southwest Airlines, academic sponsor, Morgan State University, Stars and Stripes event sponsor, BAE Systems, Booz Allen Hamilton, Diamondback Energy, Inc., GE, General Dynamics, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, RTX, the Boeing Company, Worldwide Technology. Please be seated and enjoy the performance of the Armed Forces Medley. Current and former military members in the audience are invited to stand and be recognized when their service song is being played.
The United States Coast Guard. We're always ready for the call. We place our trust in thee. Through surf and storm and howling gale, I shall our purpose be. Semper Paratus is our guide, our fame, our glory too. To fight, to save, or fight and die, I, Coast Guard, we are for you. The United States Space Force. We're the mighty watchful eye, guardians beyond the blue, the invisible front line, war fighters brave and true, boldly reaching into space. There's no limit to our sky, standing watch both night and day. We're the Space Force from on high. The United States Air Force. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, zooming to meet our thunder. Atom boys, give 'em the gun. Down we dive, spouting our flame from under. Off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame or go down in flame. Hey, nothing will stop the U.S. Air Force. The United States Navy. Anchors away, my boys, anchors away. Farewell to foreign shores, we sail at break of day, to our last night ashore. Drink to the foam, until we meet once more. Here's wishing you a happy voyage home. The United States Marine Corps. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battles in the air, on land, and sea. First to fight fights for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marine. The United States Army. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the Army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the Army goes rolling along. Then it's hi, hi, hey, the Army's on its way. Count off the cadence loud and strong, for wherever we go, you will always know that the Army goes rolling along.
Thank you.
Delivering our invocation is Major Ashellerian Addison, Chaplain of the Delaware National Guard. Please rise if you are able.
Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, as we still ourselves in this moment, God, we pause to thank you for your goodness, for your graciousness, and for your mercy. We invite your presence tonight as we celebrate your manifold blessings, as we motivate and empower great thinkers and great minds as they step boldly into a place that the marginalized are underrepresented. So God, we invite your presence in this place, put your hedge of protection around us, and keep us safe from all hurt, harm, and danger, seen and unseen. God, we thank you for how you love us. We thank you for how you keep us. In the name that is above every name, we say amen.
Please be seated. Now let's meet our facilitators for the 2024 Baya Stars and Stripes Dinner. Major General Janine Burkhead of the National Guard, the 31st Adjutant General of the State of Maryland, and Mr. Jason Newton, former broadcast professor at the University of Maryland, Eastern Shore, 2017 Emmy Award-winning reporter and current news anchor for WBAL TV News.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, and welcome to the 19th Annual Baya Stars and Stripes Award Ceremony and Dinner, highlighting this year's featured service branch, the National Guard. It is an honor to be in the room with you all here tonight, and it is incredibly special to have you here back in my hometown of Baltimore.
Thank you, Jason.
Certainly, thank you.
The National Guard is honored to be this year's featured service. Domestically and abroad, the National Guard is ready to offer aid and assistance, and this extends to community service and mentorship, the foundation of today's event. Tonight's theme is centered around 3 pillars of influence. That's strength, support, and honor. While I may not be able to speak for every service in this room, I know that these 3 pillars ring true. Always ready, always there is our motto. It's truly an honor to be this year's featured service. And now, we welcome to the stage the National Chairman of the Baya Military Alumni Committee and the 2007 Baya Award-winning Achievement in Government, Admiral Vice Admiral Wins.
Good evening. I'm delighted to be joined tonight by so many wonderful supporters of our event. I want to give a special welcome this evening to the distinguished leadership in our audience. Please join me in giving a special welcome this evening to the Governor of the State of Maryland, the Honorable Wes Moore, Secretary of the Air Force, the Honorable Frank Kendall, U.S. Representative from the 7th District of Maryland, the Honorable McFumey, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General C.Q. Brown. Chief of Staff of the Air Force, General David Alvin. Chief of the National Guard Bureau, General Daniel Hokason. The Mayor of Baltimore, Brandon Scott. Vice Chief of Staff of the Army, General James Mingus. Vice Chief of Space Operations, General Mike Goodline. Vice Commandant of the Coast Guard, Admiral Stephen Poland. Army General Counsel, Honorable Carrie Ricci. Assistant Secretary to the Navy, the Honorable Franklin Parker. Commanding General of the Army Materiel Command, General Charles Hamilton. Also, please welcome our retired 4-stars, General Ellis, Wilson, Vi, Parker, Brooks, and Ward, and Admiral Haney. It is my honor and privilege to take part in this important awards dinner to celebrate the supportive and honorable service members who commit their time and energy to mentorship within their communities. Mentorship is deeper than words of timely advice. It is rooted in the actions and the connection that binds people together. It requires genuine communication that is fostered through compassion, mutual respect, and discovery, and at times, tough love. We have gathered an outstanding group of awardees whose individual accomplishments in their respective fields are undeniably impressive. Most people would be content with personal success, but a true pillar of the community reaches out, lends their accolades and wisdom to others, and continues to support the community wherein their roots lie. As I look across the room, I'm reminded that everyone here tonight is fully invested in the future of someone other than themselves. And that generosity of spirit will be reflected in the next generation of service members and STEM professionals. Once again, welcome. Now please welcome back to the stage Major General Burkhead.
Thank you for those words, Vice Admiral Wins. They are truly an inspiration to the youth here today. Before we begin with the festivities, let us take a moment to remember Major General Cunningham C. Bryant. Major General Bryant was appointed the Commanding General of the District of Columbia National Guard in 1974 by President Lyndon Johnson. He was called to active duty in 1943. He was a World War II combat veteran, and he joined the District of Columbia National Guard in 1954. Cunningham C. Bryant, who led the District of Columbia Army National Guard from 1974 to 1981, was the first Black commander there. A resident of Washington, D.C., he died of a heart attack on July 29, 2023, at Walter Reed Army Medical Center. Major General Bryant was the Adjutant General of the Guard and a chief of its operations and training branch before his nomination to head the Washington District. Born in Clifton, Virginia, he graduated from Cardozo High School and later attended Howard University, where he joined the Reserve Officer Training Corps. Let us take a moment and pause and honor General Cunningham C. Bryant for his service and pioneering spirit. May he rest in peace. Now, remarks from my host and founder, Major General Ronald Johnson.
Well, good evening. You all look marvelous. Thank you, Admiral Wins, for all that you do for BAEA Stars and Stripes. So allow me to tell you how this great tradition of Stars and Stripes began. It was a natural outgrowth of the Bea experience. 19 years ago, on the Saturday night after Bea, some of us gathered in a hotel lobby and discussed the conference. A group of us recommended that we meet for breakfast before departure. Arrangements were made to meet in a small ballroom, and we informed the hotel that a few dozen families would probably attend. So Sunday morning arrived, and within a few minutes, the crowd in the ballroom so exceeded our expectations that the fire marshal, an Army soldier, joined us. The event was superb because we were connected by a calling. That calling, how could we best serve our students? Within a few years, Vice Admiral Davis and Vice Admiral Wins developed our current mentoring program. Each year, this gathering grew larger until Dr. Taborn recommended we move it to Friday night. So here we are. We also wanted to find a way to honor the extraordinary accomplishments of African Americans in the military. With this dual purpose, Bea Stars and Stripes became what you see tonight. Our impact is truly a sight to behold, with ripples across this country. Over 575 students have experienced career advice, mentoring, networking, and exposure to cutting-edge STEM discoveries. More than 100 officers and SESs have gathered to personally mentor these students, and at least 80 of those students sit with us here tonight, among the secretaries of our armed forces, CEOs of the biggest companies in tech, and the finest educators in the nation. Students, we want you to know that in 20 years, maybe even sooner, we envision you in positions just like these great dignitaries, generals, admirals, educators, and heads of companies. We're proud of you. We need you. We believe in you. We wouldn't be here if that weren't the case. Thank you all for being a part of this tradition that we call Bea Stars and Stripes Dinner. Now please welcome Jason Newton to begin introductions.
Well, tonight we will hear from our conference sponsors and co-hosts as well, who will reiterate their commitment to mentorship within the Bea Stars and Stripes program. Our first speaker of the evening is Andreas Roelofs, the Vice President of Research and Development at RTX.
Thank you. Good evening. On behalf of the 185,000 members of the RTX team worldwide, it is my honor to recognize in attendance the people that have served and currently are serving in the armed forces and senior service, executive service. I'd also like to recognize the National Guard as this year's featured service, as well as all the branches of military and government that are represented tonight as we celebrate many of the black women and men who have answered the call to serve, protect our country at home and abroad. This year's theme, Pillar of Influence, Strength, Support, and Honor, underscore the attributes of those who answered the call to support our country. And that's why we want to thank you for your leadership and for your service to our great nation. At RTX, our mission is to create a safer and more connected world. And I have the honor and the privilege to partner with the 60,000 engineers who develop the solutions to help our women and men in uniform to complete their mission and, importantly, to return home safely. From Raytheon's Patriot air and missile defense system to Pratt & Whitney's F-35, one F-35 engine that powers the F-35 fighter jet, to Collins Aerospace connected battlespace solutions. As we know, threats evolve, which requires us to continue to innovate and move even faster. That's why we have long partnered with organizations like Bea to develop, recognize, and celebrate black engineers. We firmly believe innovation is strengthened by the power of all. Different ideas, different perspectives and experiences yield the best possible solutions and help us stay ahead of the threats. Working together, we'll continue to push the limits of technology and science and to redefine how we connect and protect this world. And we'll continue to inspire the next generation of leaders and engineering talent to help us get there. Congratulations to tonight's honorees, your families, your friends, and thank you all for your leadership, your service, and again, your sacrifice. Thank you and have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we will hear from Frank St. John, Chief Operating Officer of Lockheed Martin.
Well, good evening, everyone. On behalf of more than 120,000 Lockheed Martin teammates around the world, I'm deeply honored to be here once again as a co-host of the BEA Stars and Stripes Awards ceremony and dinner. I'd like to acknowledge the members of this year's featured service, the National Guard. Thank you for your selfless dedication to protecting those here and abroad. And to the many other members of the military, government leaders, and civil servants represented in the room, thank you for answering the call to serve our nation. I also want to congratulate Dr. Taborn and the many others who played a role in bringing BEA back to its roots here in Baltimore this year. The theme of tonight's ceremony, Pillars of Influence, Strength, Support, and Honor, so aptly describe the characteristics of the awardees we celebrate this evening and those who have come before us. It took strength to overcome the seemingly insurmountable barriers that many Black American military leaders faced in the pursuit of equal opportunity to serve their country. It took commitment to support others as a mentor and leader, paving the way for future generations to follow in their footsteps. And it took honor to rise above challenges, affirm their oath, and complete the mission, no matter the circumstance. As industry partners to our men and women in uniform and as Americans, we owe an immense debt of gratitude to the remarkable legacies of Black American military leaders, past and present. Our Lockheed Martin team is honored to support this remarkable event to celebrate their impactful contributions and exemplary service to our communities, our nation, and our world. Thank you, and enjoy this special evening.
Thank you, sir. Next, please help me to welcome Kathleen Warden, the Chair and Chief Executive Officer and President of Northrop Grumman.
Good evening. Thank you for the introduction. I am truly honored to be a part of this celebration. And thank you to our hosts for organizing an event that celebrates the extraordinary accomplishments of Black leaders in our military, and with a special tribute this year to the National Guard. Tonight, we celebrate the leaders in this room and those who came before, demonstrating selfless courage and an unwavering commitment to uphold the ideals we all share. Our collective commitment to safeguarding freedom and security is unwavering. It's driven by a belief that the best solutions emerge from teams that blend diverse backgrounds, experiences, and perspectives. So let me share a story that I think perfectly illustrates this belief. It's the story of Gabrielle Cook. She's a remarkable woman, and she has two important jobs. Gabrielle is a Northrop Grumman engineer and a member of the National Guard. Gabrielle's journey is a testament to her love for a challenge and her dedication to service. After earning 2 master's degrees, Gabrielle joined Northrop Grumman, and then she felt a calling to serve her country in uniform. She enlisted in the U.S. Army National Guard, and she set her sights on becoming a Black Hawk helicopter pilot, a goal she achieved with distinction. As an engineer, Gabrielle is part of a team that brings together their talent, experiences, and perspectives to deliver mission-critical sensor technology, including on the very helicopter that she flies. Her story is an example of what we're celebrating tonight, and it's a powerful reminder of why we all do what we do. It reminds us of the responsibility we carry. It's about more than engineering and technology. It's about people, service, and making a difference in the lives of those who defend our freedom every day. As we gather tonight, let's celebrate the achievements of Black military service members like Gabrielle and the diverse talents that strengthened our armed forces and our industry. Together, we're building a future where excellence is defined by the breadth of our perspectives and the depth of our commitment to making the world a safer place. So thank you for joining us tonight to honor these exceptional individuals and their contributions to our nation and to our shared mission. So on behalf of our entire Northrop Grumman team, including those who are in the room here with me tonight, thank you for your many outstanding contributions to our nation. Thank you, team.
Thank you, ma'am. Joining us now on stage will be Kathleen Jolivet, Vice President and General Manager, Vertical Lift, Boeing Defense, Space, and Security.
Hey, good evening. I come to you from and with the highest regards of the Boeing Company. We are each here today by virtue of different paths that led us to this moment. But we were led here, or did we act with intention each step of the way to become the person and the path maker we are today? Looking around this room, I see path builders and change makers who have, with clear intention, defined and redefined what it means to make a difference in companies and communities that are in increasing need of greater diversity, equity, and inclusion. DEI is faced with many challenges, now more than ever, but we come to that task not out of some ideal crafted in a laboratory or thought up in a storybook. We come to that task because we see and experience the benefits of a diverse, equitable, and inclusive workforce and society. We see and experience what it means for the field of STEM to have a rich array of contributors who make those contributions based on and also independent from a myriad of backgrounds. We build paths and we make change. We see and experience. I see you and those paths you've built and that change you've painstakingly made. And from my experience at the Boeing Company and personally, it's made me all the better for it. Especially in this moment as we gather to recognize and celebrate the aspirations and accomplishments of the 2024 BEA STEM Conference honorees. Your work both transforms and transcends the workplace, and the qualities of your leadership are ones that my colleagues and I at Boeing will be fortunate to emulate and motivate. Congratulations to all of the honorees. I'm so honored to be here with you tonight, and on behalf of the Boeing Company, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And finally, we will hear from the Governor of Maryland, Wes Moore.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much, Jason. When you get MCs like Jason Newton and our tag, General Burkhead, you know this is the right kind of crowd. We're thankful for their leadership, and I also want to say welcome back to Baltimore to the BEA conference. I was speaking to General Wilkinson, who was telling me that it was actually in D.C. for a while. Tyrone Taborn, I just want to say congratulations and thank you for all your leadership, sir. From my understanding, this is bigger than any of the D.C. events, correct? All right, just want to make note. That's how we do in Maryland. And I know it's it's always, something seemingly obligatory where governors will come to conferences and say, thank you for coming here, and they'll thank you for staying in hotels and eating at restaurants and go shopping. And I want you to do that too. Please stay at hotels and please eat at restaurants. But I want to thank you because this is personal. In this room, I see people who I admire and respect. I see people who understand what the word sacrifice means. I see people who understand inherently what it means to be a patriot and what it means to fight for something bigger than yourself. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything that you do to make our country not just strong and secure, but continue making it worth fighting for. And I thank you for all you continue to do. To all of our military and civilian leaders here, to our chair, General Brown, Secretary Kendall, our senior enlisted advisor, Tony Whitehead, and also to the Mayor of Baltimore, who I know is here right now, and to our remarkable congressman who represents the area, my friend, Congressman Kwesi Mfume. It is great to be with you always, sir. And also, I'd be remiss if I didn't give a special shout out to this table. As an old soldier myself, I cannot tell you how inspirational seeing this lead table is for me. Because this lead table does not just represent excellence. This lead table reminds me that we are never in a room that we don't belong in. That the shoulders that we stand on are broad, and the people who make access to those tables, they put in the work. And I want to thank you for reminding me and reminding so many others who will come after us that there is never a room that they don't belong in, that they are never in a room because of benevolence or kindness. They're in that room because the room would be incomplete if they were not there. And so to this lead table, bless you and thank you for all you do. And I want to just also thank this room for all the work that you all continue to do to emphasize two leading pillars for our state, and that's service and science. You know, I think about this idea and that combination of both those two things. I first joined the Army when I was 17 years old. I wasn't old enough to sign the paperwork. My mother had to sign the paperwork for me. But as the congressman will vouch for, when I was 17, after my teenage years, my mom would sign whatever paperwork that the Army put in front of her. But I remember when I first joined the military, and I first had a chance to deploy. I deployed with the 82nd Airborne Division to Afghanistan. Oh, all right, we got some super duper paratroopers in here, huh? But I remember, airball all the way. But I remember that there was always assumptions by people when we came home. And oftentimes assumptions by people who were not part of our community, who were not working or interacting with our community, who thought that folks in the service, that this was more almost like robots. It was following orders. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. How high should I jump? Almost like everything was robotic, without a full appreciation of the true entrepreneurial nature of the work that we did and the sacrifice we made. Knowing that the only guarantee about Tuesday was that it was going to look nothing like Monday, and you had to adapt and adjust. The idea that react to contact just became something that we inherently learned how to do. And so it shouldn't be any surprise to anybody who's had exposure to our community and exposure to our work that some of the greatest innovations and some of the greatest entrepreneurs and some of the greatest thought leaders and some of the greatest drivers of our economy have something in common. They have all worn or they have all worked with people who have worn the uniform of this country. Because service and science are inextricably linked. We don't have the internet if it's not for the military. We don't have penicillin if it's not for the military. There is no military without STEM, and there is no STEM without the military. And so it's no coincidence that in the greatest state in the country, the state of Maryland, we have both military assets and we have some of the best scientific assets in the entire country. You cannot understand Maryland's leadership without understanding the contributions of our scientific community. You cannot understand military leadership in cyber without understanding the role of Fort Meade. You cannot understand military's leadership in medicine without understanding the role of Fort Detrick. And by the way, just for those who don't know, Baltimore is also the home of Fort McHenry and where the Star Spangled Banner was first written. So you're welcome, America, for that too. Because in Maryland, we build bridges. In Maryland, we strengthen partnerships. In Maryland, we make sure that all parts of our society is seen and heard. And it's going to position this state to win the decade. We want to make Maryland the best state in the country to build a career in STEM, and we want to build a career and a future in STEM that looks like the beautiful mosaic that is the state of Maryland. We want to make Maryland the best state to be able to serve your community and serve your country. We want to make Maryland the best state in the world to change the world. We want to make Maryland the best state in the nation to start a business, and not just industries of the present, but in industries of the future. But to get there, we know we're going to need the support of everybody in this room. Our military leaders, our award winners, our students, our entrepreneurs. Because tonight is not just a celebration of people who made history. Tonight is a recognition of the history that still needs to be made. Tonight is a recognition that we need to celebrate and invest in the people who will continue to write our history. That's what we do. We battle and we win. And so I'm grateful that you all chose Maryland. I'm grateful that you all chose Baltimore. I'm grateful that you chose to serve. God bless you guys, and thank you so much for all you continue to do.
If we get a round of applause for all of our speakers tonight, a big thank you to all of them. You may begin enjoying this evening's dinner and the music of the Morgan State University Choir, along with the 229th. They've got some fans here. 229th Maryland Army National Guard and the Adjutant's own Jazz Exchange. Enjoy, everyone.
Good evening. We're going to sing for you 5 spirituals as performed by the acclaimed group Wings Over Jordan, the first full-time, all-black professional choir in America.
Sweet chariot
Swing low, sweet chariot. Swing low, sweet chariot. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? A band of angels coming after me. If you get there before I do, tell all my friends I'm coming too. Swing low, sweet chariot. Swing low, sweet chariot. Coming for to carry me home.
I am climbing Jacob's ladder. I am climbing Jacob's ladder. Oh, I am climbing Jacob's ladder. Oh, Lord. Oh, they tell me every round goes higher, higher, higher. Every round goes higher, higher. Every round goes higher, higher. Oh, oh, Lord. Oh, Be honest, do you think I'll make a soldier? Do you think I'll make a soldier? Oh, do you think I'll make a soldier? Oh, I may be weak, I may be strong, I'm leaning on His mighty arm. Rock my soul, rock my soul. I'm soul is glad, my soul is free. I'm going home to live with Thee. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Oh, rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Oh, rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock my soul in the bosom
Ladies and gentlemen, please return to your seats. Tonight's program will now resume. Ladies and gentlemen, please return to your seats. Tonight's program will now resume. Wasn't that Morgan State University choir outstanding? We would like to acknowledge our official university sponsor, Morgan State University, and its president, Dr. David Wilson. Please welcome back to the stage, Vice Admiral Anthony Wins.
Good evening once again. In our role as leaders, we are proud of our ongoing and growing commitment to mentor and encourage our nation's youth to pursue STEM careers. The interest in mentoring remains high, and the need is stronger than ever. Prior to this evening's Bay of Stars and Stripes Awards dinner, we successfully held our 14th anniversary mentoring session. Over 150 admirals, general officers, and SES personnel participated, mentoring more than 600 high school and early college students. Coming to us, thank you. They came from more than 35 schools across our nation. School principals, administrators, student educators, and a special delegation from Ohio all joined, observed, learned, and supported us this afternoon. If you participated in our mentoring session today, whether as a mentor, a student, parent, observer, proctor, or mentoring committee member, please stand. Thank you. To properly plan and execute such an event requires dedicated and committed individuals. Our mentoring committee is led by Virginia's Secretary of Veterans and Defense Affairs, retired Major General Craig Crenshaw. Craig and his team did a phenomenal job with today's event. Let's give them a round of applause. Also, a special thanks to T-Mobile and Windsor Group for being our sponsors for the mentoring program. I think it's appropriate to give you more insight into our mentoring efforts. To help me do this tonight, I want you to meet a mentoring program student from North Point High School in Waldorf, Maryland. He's a junior with a 4.32 GPA, a National Junior Honor Society member, and he placed third in the State of Maryland Skills USA Engineering Design Challenge. He's a captain of the North Point VEX robotics team, and he co-founded North Point's Junior NSBE chapter. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Hudson Garrett.
Good evening, distinguished guests, fellow speakers, and esteemed participants of the BEA STEM Conference. I am Hudson Garrett, the high school speaker and a member of the Purple Boots Mentoring Program. It is indeed a privilege to stand before you tonight and share my thoughts on this remarkable platform. As I entered the conference venue, a sense of challenge and pressure loomed, reminiscent of Dante's Inferno. The signage might as well have read, "All hope abandon, ye who enter in." Yet these words were not that of despair, rather these words of encouragement. All cowardice must be extinct. These were the words told to Dante by Virgil as he began his descent into that pit of despair. These words I did not hear from a guide sent by the divine, but from those who have supported and guided me, paving the way for me to be here this evening. As I look around and see my fellow students and those mentors who have offered their time today to teach the youth, I am optimistic for the future that lies ahead. In a time where apathy and indifference have stripped all meaning from our future, it is crucial that we reclaim our sense of purpose and ignite the flame of passion that had once been in each and every one of us. Because if we don't, and we allow apathy to consume our hearts, our collective potential will remain untapped, and the promise of a brighter tomorrow will be snuffed out, along with any hope for change. It is within our grasp to redefine the narrative, to breathe life into our aspirations, and to carve a path toward a future that resonates with purpose and enthusiasm. Each mentor here this evening is a testament to the transformative power of passion and dedication. They have chosen to invest their time not just in teaching skills, but in fostering a sense of purpose and instilling the belief that every individual can make a significant impact. So let us pledge to rise above apathy, to reignite the spark within us, and to embrace the responsibility of shaping our future.
Thank you, Hudson. And that's a junior in high school. Four years ago, a high school senior graced our stage as the student speaker. He had been accepted at 14 top universities and received over $500,000 in college scholarships. Today, he's a college senior and will graduate this spring from North Carolina A&T State University with a degree in computer engineering. He has excelled as a student and as a leader in the community, reaching out to help others learn about financial literacy. A BEA alum, I present to you Kyle Carter.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to stand before you all once again. My journey with BEA Stars and Stripes began in 2019, where I attended a mentoring session that profoundly shaped my understanding and approach to mentorship. A year later, as the high school student speaker for the BEA Stars and Stripes Award Dinner in 2020, I share insights from my journey. Tonight, 4 years later, it is a privilege and honor to be back, especially as I approach the milestone of graduation from North Carolina A&T State University this upcoming spring. Mentorship, an enduring pathway for sharing wisdom and insight, is more central today than at any point in history. In an era of rapid change and uncertainty, the guidance of those who have walked the path before us can illuminate our way forward. My personal journey has been significantly influenced by mentors who have shared their insights and experiences, allowing me to navigate through challenges and seize opportunities that were not immediately visible. This belief in the power of mentorship propelled me to start an organization called HBCU Trades. I founded this organization last year with the overall goal to educate and inform minorities about the stock market. Our goal is not just financial literacy, but instead financial empowerment, enabling individuals to make informed decisions that can alter their life's trajectory. Through HBCU Trades, we awarded scholarships to high school seniors in the form of stocks to high school students bound for North Carolina A&T in the fall, fostering a new generation of informed investors. This initiative embodies the essence of mentorship, sharing knowledge to create opportunities for others, allowing them to build on their skills and see the world from diverse perspectives. Mentorship, in its many forms, is about bridging gaps, not only in knowledge, but as well as access and opportunity. With HBCU Trades, we've taken steps towards changing the narrative around African American investing. Before the year 2020, the average age of the African American investor was 37 years old. But today, the number has impressively gone down to 31 years old. We're not just teaching stock market fundamentals, we're mentoring future leaders, instilling in them the confidence and skills needed in order to be successful. The commitment to mentorship is a commitment to the future, nurturing a culture where every individual can thrive. I challenge you to see the potential in each person, including yourself, to contribute to a collective progress that extends far beyond our individual accomplishments. It is through mentorship that this potential is nurtured and realized. Our shared experiences and wisdom, often exchanged in moments of guidance and support, are vital in crafting a future that is not only bright, but also inclusive and empowering. So as we embrace the journey ahead, let's pledge to be both mentors and mentees, champions of change who uplift and inspire. Together we will forge a future where every success shared and every challenge overcome through the power of mentorship. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. Now that's what I call a return on investment. The mentoring program that takes place here at Bear Stars and Stripes has also become a model for our Stars and Stripes year-round sustained mentoring program led by Mr. Jesse McCurdy. If you are a retired flag or SCS, please consider participating in our year-round sustained mentoring program. We could use your help. I would like to remind you about our monthly Career Day program led by the 2020 Black Engineer of the Year, retired Lieutenant General Bruce Crawford. Career Day is held online on the second Saturday of each month and features speakers like astronaut Major General Charlie Bolden. Last year, I announced the establishment of our Stars and Stripes Scholarship Program under the leadership of retired Lieutenant General Darrell Williams, president of Hampton University. Thank you. I'm proud to announce that we have awarded 5 student scholarships thus far to Moria Borman, Celia Hurst, Hope Pagan, Joy Pagan, and Ariana Wilson Pierce, all Career Day student ambassadors. This is another example of our mentoring mission, expanding and reaching new heights, new students in new ways. I'm sometimes asked, how do we know our mentoring efforts are working? The short answer is we measure success one student at a time. The longer answer is we continue to improve our mentorship program and look for ways to validate that we're on the correct path. One such metric is feedback from program participants. Listen to what people are saying. This is a note I received from a teacher. My students were extremely impressed with all the brass that surrounded them, as well as the information on future careers, offers of summer internships, and connections they made. Several students mentioned in class that they could not believe that civilians and military officers of such high rank would take time out of their busy schedules to meet and talk with them. It was a great experience for me to be around and meet so many high-ranking African Americans in all branches of our military. They were impressive, and I wish that many more of my students could have met them. Now, a note from a parent. James has attended the program for the past 2 years and is looking forward to this year's event. He has been in constant contact with Admiral John Norrell since his first mentoring session. Admiral Norrell accompanied us on a personalized tour of the U.S. Naval Academy along with his wife, arranged for us to attend the Army-Navy basketball game, and provided James a recommendation for his first summer job. After his first BEA, an Army general recommended that James create a 5-year plan. We have executed on his plan and visited the Naval Academy, West Point, the Coast Guard Academy, VMI, Virginia Tech, Xavier, Tulane, Hampton, and Morehouse. That's a mouthful. The hands-on mentoring has been just perfect. The BEA mentoring program has impacted his life for the better, and I am more than pleased to let all who will listen know. And finally, from a student in a letter to his teacher. Friday night was an amazing experience. I'm honored and grateful that you gave me the opportunity to be present at the dinner and to learn a bit more about America and the people who from this great nation. Being there was one of the most significant experiences I have ever had. I was impressed by the history of what African American people have offered to this country and the many opportunities they have opened to other people to follow in their footsteps. They have made real contributions and change to our society. It's because of this that I thank you, and again, I'm honored you gave me this privilege. I believe these testimonials speak for themselves. Indeed, we remain true to our mission, encourage and inspire historically marginalized students to pursue careers in STEM. So, tonight, I want to say thank you, admirals, generals, and SES leaders who selflessly give your time and your energy. Thank you also to the principals, teachers, counselors, and parents who play a pivotal role in our students' mission. Most importantly, thank you to our country's youth, for it is your generation that will guide America into the future. Now, please welcome the Secretary of the United States Air Force, the Honorable Frank Kendall.
Good evening, and thank you, BEA, for allowing me to be part of this wonderful event once again this year. It's an honor to be here to represent the Department of the Air Force and recognize the incredible award winners that you'll learn more about soon. The Air Force and Space Force rely on the best leaders and technical experts in the world. They perform our mission and keep America secure from growing threats. I'm grateful for everything the BEA STEM community does to advance that mission and ensure we have the best talent our country can offer. We live in challenging times. Our national security strategy reminds us that we are in a decisive decade, an inflection point in history. General Alvin reminds us they are in a time of consequence, setting the stage for what kind of future the generations after ours will inherit. Our international environment is now shaped by great power competition, a challenge we haven't faced in decades. Our competition is motivated, well-resourced, strategic, and committed to using technology to enhance their own interests and their authoritarian values. This competition will not end anytime soon. Our efforts will determine whether the next generation lives in a rules-based world under the rule of law and within the consent of the governed, or an authoritarian state where might makes right. We need the best leaders we can find serving to their full potential to succeed in this competition. We particularly need technical expertise and STEM professionals. Tonight, we'll get to meet and recognize some of those leaders. The leaders we need come from diverse backgrounds with a diversity of experiences. At this year's Focus on the National Guard Bureau reminds us, these leaders may serve in the Guard, the Reserve, or active duty. The expertise and relationships our Guard and Reserve members bring from the private sector stimulate innovation and strengthen our nation. The leaders we need may come from communities or families with a long history of military service, or they might be taking a brave step into a life of service from a place where they didn't see many others doing the same thing. They might be overcoming barriers, obstacles, and headwinds to serve in their full potential. Many are breaking down those barriers so that others can follow. We have a complicated history of structural and cultural obstacles in our society that have sometimes limited the potential of individuals or groups to serve. Did you hear that sentence? I think I just set a world record for a euphemistic understatement. It takes effort to attract, develop, mentor, and cultivate the best leaders our country has to offer. It takes leaders to understand the experience of those whose path to service looks different than their own. Our award winners tonight are some of these leaders. They have put in the effort and shown the exceptional ability to lift people up with them as they themselves excel. The Air Force and Space Force are better for it. Our nation is better for it. And the generations that follow will be better for it. Thank you to the Bay STEM community, and congratulations to all of our award winners. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Kendall, for those kind words. It is now time to recognize those who have dedicated their service to making an impact on our communities and the nation. Help me to welcome the 29th Chief of the National Guard, who ensures we are always ready and always there. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Hokinson.
Amidst the turbulence of cyber threats, natural disasters, and shadows of strategic competition, the National Guard stands to fight America's wars and protect the homeland. It's a dual calling, one that intertwines the love of family with the love of country, the pursuit of a civilian career with the dedication of military service. Making up nearly a fifth of the joint force, the National Guard offers a blend of national security and local service, all while stewarding a mere fraction of our defense resources. At home, Guardsmen are our neighbors, teachers, and doctors, and come from every walk of life. In times of crisis, they are familiar faces, conducting search and rescue, securing national events, and providing aid and relief efforts. In cyberspace operations, more than 4,000 citizen soldiers and airmen are protecting our networks from malicious activity and maintaining integrity in our elections, a bedrock of democracy. Beyond our shores, the National Guard plays a unique role in building enduring relationships with 88 partnerships with 100 nations as part of the State Partnership Program. In a rapidly evolving world of cyber threats and a web of conflicts, our work is never done. However, our commitment to relationships at home and abroad ensures innovative solutions to safeguard our way of life. We've made a promise to America to uphold security and prosperity. Always ready, always there.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed honorees, Chairman and Mrs. Brown, Vice Admiral Davis, Vice Admiral Wins, my fellow service counterparts, our industry partners, and honored guests. It is an honor to join you this evening as we celebrate Black engineers, education, and above all, excellence. Thank you for this event and your ongoing support for our service members all around the world. I was thinking about the theme of this year's Stars and Stripes dinner, Pillars of Influence, and it reminded me of how complicated the word influence can be. To have influence is to be able to change another's behavior, for better or worse. And we are all the products of influence in one way or another. What we see and hear determines what we believe, what we buy, and what we aspire to. In a 2019 Harris poll, they asked kids in the United States and China what they wanted to be when they grew up, and they gave them 5 choices: a vlogger or YouTuber, a teacher, a professional athlete, a musician, or an astronaut. A plurality of the kids from America, nearly 30%, wanted to be YouTubers. Only 11% wanted to be astronauts. In China, the outcome was radically reversed. 56% of Chinese kids wanted to be astronauts. There are a few possible explanations for this, like how different education systems prioritize science and technology, or how the Great Firewall blocks YouTube in China. But it ultimately comes down to influence. If you don't know something exists, or if you don't know about an opportunity, or no one you know seems to think it's important, it's unlikely to be something that you pursue. Like I said, it's complicated. But of course, we're drawn to complicated things. We're engineers. We solve problems. The more complicated, the better. And it turns out the world is full of complicated problems, looking for smart, capable people who are driven to solve them. Now, full disclosure, when I was growing up, I was one of those kids who wanted to be an astronaut. As a kid, my mom called us into the house to watch Neil Armstrong set foot on the moon for the first time. I still remember seeing that in black and white on our TV, and like so many kids from that area, that became my dream. But I was a kid from Happy Camp, California. Yes, I'm a happy camper. It's a small logging town and a small community where Bigfoot statues outnumber traffic lights 4-0. So even then, I knew being an astronaut was quite a dream. I tried to balance school, sports, jobs, and being one of 7 children, and realized very young I had a lot of hard work to do. After attending a year of junior college to get my academics up to speed and do better on the SAT, I was able to get into West Point. There I had to work very hard balancing all the demands of cadet life, college sports, and academics. I experienced almost every phase of sleep deprivation, sticking with my degree in aerospace engineering, and was fortunate to get selected for aviation. Today, spoiler alert, I'm not an astronaut. At least not yet. But I am a member of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and I have the tremendous honor of representing more than 430,000 soldiers and airmen who serve in the National Guard and the families who make their service possible. So I want to tell my fellow aerospace engineers, in fact, all of my fellow engineers, the sleep deprivation is really worth it. Because even though my childhood dream didn't come true, those studies gave me an opportunity to attend flight school. Flight school gave me a career in the Army, and a career in the Army gave me the most incredible opportunities I've had in my life. The closest friends I will ever have, the chance to meet my amazing wife, educational opportunities I only dreamed of, experiences around the globe with some of the greatest people I will ever know. And when I joined the National Guard, those experiences multiplied. Because the National Guard is about doing more, being more, and becoming more. The National Guard is the second largest military organization in the United States, behind only the active duty Army. Today, we make up 20% of the U.S. military, and 1 in 5 service members is in the National Guard. All 50 states, 3 territories, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and Guam, and Washington, D.C. all have a National Guard. And within those states, there are Guard members in nearly every zip code. What sets the National Guard apart is the fact our soldiers and airmen have civilian jobs and family responsibilities, which they balance with their military training and service. We are a community-based force, and we are deeply connected to the communities where we live and serve. And when floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, or wildfires devastate our communities, the National Guard is there. When ransomware cyber attacks hit state schools and municipal governments, the National Guard is there. When a lost, injured hiker is beyond reach of civilian rescue, the National Guard is there. And when our allies are threatened, when our international partners need training, when the combatant commanders need operational forces, the National Guard remains always ready and always there. We may not be influencers, and we may not be astronauts, but we are engineers and firefighters, doctors and lawyers, models and mechanics, teachers and nurses. We are pillars of influence, serving with strength, support, and honor. So if you want to make a difference, both in your community and on a global scale, and if you want to have a civilian career while taking advantage of extraordinary opportunities, and if you want to be part of solving the hardest problems, because let's face it, those are the only ones left, I wholeheartedly invite you to be part of our team. You've already proven you're brilliant, hardworking, and dedicated. I know you will be even more. And so I leave you with the words of astronaut Kalpana Chawla. The path from dreams to success does exist. May you have the vision to find it, the courage to get onto it, and the perseverance to follow it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, General Hokanson. We will now begin the award ceremony honoring those outstanding members of each branch of service. Sir, to get started, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, thank you. Our first awardee exemplifies leadership, dedication, and unwavering service to the nation. A decorated veteran recognized for heroism, he was awarded the Combat Action Badge, Valorous Unit Award, and Meritorious Service Medal. He also took a lead role in Operation Crackdown 2 to remove drug-affiliated structures and strengthen his community's safety. A champion of STEM education, he helped establish the Department of Defense Starbase program at his local armory and oversaw the training of more than 5,000 students during the pandemic while achieving a record-breaking graduation rate for the warrant officers he trained. He spearheads community initiatives like Parents and Loved Ones, helping families with child care needs. He is a summa cum laude graduate of Purdue University and the 2017 Indiana American Legion Military Person of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sergeant Major Alan Thomas, Jr. Congratulations, Sergeant Major Thomas. Well-deserved honor. Our second awardee has shown unwavering dedication to the military, the Warrant Officer Corps, and her community through her selfless career. She is a trailblazer, breaking barriers as the first warrant officer selected to serve as intelligence briefer to the Army National Guard Director, and the first warrant officer to be hired to the National Guard Bureau Intelligence Directorate. Her commitment to the community includes participating in over 50 youth programs in many capacities as keynote speaker, panelist, organizer, and planner. She works tirelessly volunteering with the Growing and Empowering Myself Successfully program for high school girls and the Creative and Striving Hard to Succeed program with the National Association of Black Engineers. She co-chartered Minority Achievements in Intelligence and National Security and serves on the alumni board at the National Intelligence University. The winner of the U.S. Army Warrant Officers Association Rising Eagle Award and an inspirational leader, please welcome Chief Warrant Officer 3, Regina Carroll, to the stage.
Congratulations, Chief Warrant Officer 3, Regina Carroll. Well done. Please welcome to the stage General James Mingus to announce the United States Army awardee for 2024.
Well, I don't think this next individual realizes that you can actually retire at 20 years or maybe even 30 years. Because 40, I say again, 40 years into his Army career, this awardee is still finding ways to show his leadership and encourage the youth to start their careers in STEM fields. In his current role as Director of Army Futures Command Network Cross-Functional Team, and in his previous role such as Director of Command and Control, Communications and Career Systems, he looks to the future and finds the best strategy to get there. He is a personal advocate for mentorship and engages with audiences by sharing his own life story and key moments. He conducts radio broadcasts in the United States, Virgin Islands, mentors youth around the United States, and has mentored several Signals Captain's Career Course iterations. Under his leadership, the NCFT helped revive the annual STEM in Scouting program for Girl Scouts and Cub Scouts at the Aberdeen Proving Grounds. Please join me in welcoming former enlisted warrant officer and now Major General Jeff B. Ray.
Congratulations, Major General Ray. Next, we'll hear from the Honorable Carrie Ricci to introduce our SCS Award winner.
Good evening. Our next awardee has been enthusiastically endorsed because of his exceptional leadership, outstanding character, and remarkable contributions as the Executive Director and Senior Contract Official of Army Contracting Command, Redstone Arsenal. In this role, his visionary leadership has positioned the ACC-RSA as a center of excellence and innovation. His commitment to increasing talent in the workforce is shown in the Army Contracting Command's People First priority policy. His membership in the orders of, wait for it, St. George, St. Maurice, and St. Barbara indicate his values. His colleagues emphasize that he models these values in every role he has been given, and they permeate his leadership style. His commitment to STEM education is evident in his advocacy. He has fostered many collaborations with educational institutions. He's an exceptional leader with outstanding character. Please welcome Mr. Joseph Junta, Jr. to the stage.
Well, that was an excellent segue into our Living Legends tribute delivered by Vice Admiral Anthony Wins.
This year, we honor previously recognized living legends, General Larry Ellis, one of the first African-American Army four-star generals, and Captain Dunny Cochran, U.S. Navy, the 1989 Black Engineer of the Year, first Black Navy Blue Angel pilot, and the first and only Black commanding officer of the Blue Angels. Thank you. Now, we would like to honor 3 new living legends tonight. When I call your name, please stand. First, Captain Buddy Joe Penn. He's the former acting Secretary of the Navy and the first African-American air boss of an aircraft carrier. As a tactical Navy pilot, he amassed over 6,500 hours of flight time in 16 different aircraft. He was the first African-American to serve as a battalion officer at the U.S. Naval Academy in the mid-1970s, where he was instrumental in paving the way for many future African-American admirals like myself, and he mentored a generation of Sea Service officers as a former president of the National Naval Officers Association. Thank you, Secretary Penn. Next is Major General Charlie Bolden, Jr., a Marine aviator and test pilot who flew more than 100 combat missions in Vietnam. He later became an astronaut and traveled to orbit 4 times, ladies and gentlemen, aboard the space shuttle, commanding 2 of the missions and piloting 2 others. He was named the 12th Administrator of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, the first African-American administrator in NASA's history. Major General Bolden was inducted into the U.S. Astronaut Hall of Fame in May 2006. He inspired youth around the world to see the impossible and seek opportunities in aviation and space. Thank you, General Bolden. Our final living legend this evening is Lieutenant Colonel George Hardy, United States Air Force. Colonel Hardy is one of the last 2 living Tuskegee Airmen. Lieutenant Colonel Hardy flew 21 combat missions in World War II. He went on to fly 45 combat missions in the Korean War and 70 combat missions in Vietnam. Colonel Hardy is a recipient of the Congressional Gold Medal and the Distinguished Flying Cross with Valor. He has traveled the country telling the story of the Tuskegee Airmen and speaking about segregation. Thank you, Colonel Hardy. Ladies and gentlemen, these living legends show us a model of excellence and a path through challenges, and we are honored to recognize them tonight. Now, I'd like to turn it back over to Major General Burkhead.
Admiral Wentz, thank you for that education. What an inspirational tribute, and thank you to all the living legends who are guiding the way for our future. Now we'll return to our BEA Stars and Stripes Awards with our next speaker. Let's welcome Lieutenant General Brian Cavanaugh to join us in the introduction, the United States Marine Corps Award winner.
Our next awardee has made an indelible impression as the Director of Manpower Plans and Policy Division, Manpower and Reserve Affairs. His expertise was instrumental in developing the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Strategic Plan for the Marine Corps, and his thoughtfulness helped leverage the talents of all Marines while capitalizing on innovation and adaptation to changing global circumstances. He possesses extraordinary knowledge of many subjects, has the demeanor and interpersonal skills to communicate effectively with all levels of staff and leadership, and his candor and insight have proven essential when making difficult decisions. An academic powerhouse possessing multiple degrees and certifications and a decorated officer, please welcome Brigadier General Ahmed Williamson and his wife Matrice to the stage to receive his award.
Congratulations, Brigadier General Williamson. And now we'll hear from Vice Admiral Fuller of the U.S. Navy.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure tonight to recognize Navy Captain Sharif Kalfi for this exceptional award. A fellow United States Naval Academy graduate, he has an impressive career, and he's truly deserving of this recognition. JFK once said, "A nation reveals itself not only by those it produces, but also by those it honors and the people it remembers." And there's no better example of a world-class shipmate than Captain Kalfi. Those who've worked with him describe Sharif as the most warm, positive, and engaged leader they've ever known. Always positive. He meets every challenge, and there's been lots of them, with a smile and a hand on the shoulder of a sailor so a sailor knows he's there with him all the time. In my 40 years in uniform, I've come to believe that there's no task too great for a naval sailor. Or as Sharif puts it, it's in the most challenging circumstances, that's when the magic happens. We are honoring Sharif today because he represents the very best of our officer corps. And it's leaders like him that help us make the Navy the very best Navy in the world. Sharif, I'm so proud of you. And I'm so proud of what you've accomplished, and I look forward to your very bright future. Everyone, please welcome Captain Sharif Kalfi.
Congratulations, Captain Coffey. Please join me in welcoming General David Alvin, introducing the awardee for the United States Air Force.
Well, good evening. And before I announce our Air Force Award winner, I'd like to take the opportunity, if I could, to personally thank high school junior Hudson Garrett, who spoke earlier tonight, and I think he reminded us all that age is not a prerequisite for wisdom, and inspiration can be found in the most unexpected places if you just give it a voice. So this evening it's my privilege to announce the Air Force Award winner, Lieutenant Colonel Sherry Perkins. Unfortunately, Sherry couldn't be here tonight because of a family emergency, but I'd like to share a few things about her. Sherry entered our Air Force as an enlisted airman in 1999, and along the way she earned a bachelor's degree, a commission, and 2 master's degrees, as well as a successful squadron command tour. Her bachelor's degree and one of her master's degrees was in healthcare, and her career specialty is a personnelist. Sherry is about people. She currently works with us in the Department of the Air Force's Executive Action Group. And I can tell you from personal observation that her work ethic is as strong as her personality is bright. In 2023, she took the reins and shepherded the development and the writing of the Department of the Air Force's Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Accessibility Strategic Plan, ensuring that we had purposeful approaches to recruiting, outreach, and retention. And on her free time, she is relentless and tireless in advocating for opportunities for students in underserved communities. She spent countless hours traveling around, raising the collective awareness on military opportunities post-graduation. She also spent much of her time working on projects to raise $25,000 in order to offer 40 STEM and STEM-related scholarships for youth. As outstanding as an officer as she is, she's an even better human being. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me. And I would say in her place, because she cannot be here, is her mentee, Master Sergeant Megan Stanislas, who also worked on the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Strategic Plan. So please, allow us to.
Congratulations, Lieutenant Colonel Perkins. Well done. And now let us hear from General Mike Goodland.
Hey, good evening. It is my distinct honor to introduce an outstanding officer and a friend this evening. We served together in the United States Air Force. He is a fellow Guardian in the Space Force, a superb space and missiles systems officer, and a great friend. When I first met Jake in 2017, I knew we had a tremendous leader, a warrior, and somebody exceptional. From his first day in the Air Force over 30 years ago, he has been excelling. Whether it be in his recent role in the White House working national space policy, his time serving in the Middle East, or his current role as the Deputy Director of Operations in the National Military Command Center, he's embodied honor, courage, and commitment. He's highly regarded in the Air and the Space Force, having received the National Reconnaissance Office's Gold Medal and the Defense Meritorious Service Medal. I could not be more thrilled that you're honoring this airman, this Guardian, and this battle-tested warrior tonight. So let's welcome Brigadier General Jake Middleton.
Thank you and congratulations, General Middleton, and may the force be with you. Presenting our last award from the United States Coast Guard is Admiral Stephen Pullen.
Good evening, everybody, and it is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you Captain Carrie Wolf of the United States Coast Guard. She has distinguished herself as a naval engineer and as a leader of our talent management system. She supports our workforce as they execute Coast Guard missions across the globe to protect America's national security and economic prosperity. Captain Wolf currently serves as the Chief of the Coast Guard Office of Work Life. She's responsible for a wide range of programs that ensure our workforce and their families have what they need to do what America calls them to do. And we only put our best in charge of our most valuable resource, our most valuable resources being our total workforce, and Carrie is certainly the best. Carrie leads these critical initiatives that include child care, employee assistance, suicide prevention, and critical incident stress management. She's previously served in leadership positions in our talent management enterprise, including as a Coast Guard Gender Policy Advisor and as a field leader as a Personnel Support Detachment Head at Coast Guard Base New Orleans in one of the service's most demanding operational areas. She's distinguished herself as a naval engineer, and she proudly wears the permanent Cutterman insignia. She first served as a damage control assistant on the Coast Guard Cutter Laguerre, and then she was assigned to duties as a port engineer at Naval Engineering Support Unit in New Orleans, where she managed critical dry dock maintenance for our cutter fleet along the Gulf Coast. She then returned to sea as the engineering officer on board the Coast Guard cutter Spencer, ensuring the cutter's readiness for Coast Guard operations from New England to the Caribbean. Now, when she reported to Spencer in 2009, no African-American woman had previously served as an engineering officer on a major cutter. But along with her colleague that year, Olivia Grant, who also reported as the engineering officer at another cutter, Captain Wolf led the way for others to follow. But despite her engineering success, I know she is most proud of her work in the talent management system. She's distinguished herself as an innovative senior leader, and she is a true inspiration. Her leadership extends beyond the Coast Guard as well. She serves on the board of Leadership Links, which is an organization founded to mentor young girls and equip them to be change makers. And we all know how impactful mentors can be. We heard that this evening. Captain Wolf has achieved all of this while balancing her duty to the nation with her duty to her family, and with her husband, Michael, who is also an active duty senior officer, and their two children, Michael and Melinda. Carrie, congratulations on this well-deserved award. Thank you for your service to the nation, and most importantly, thank you for everything you're doing for the Coast Guard workforce. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Captain Carrie Wolf.
And thank you, Captain Wolf, and congratulations to all of our award winners.
And now, the Chief of the National Guard Bureau and the Vice Commandant, United States Coast Guard, Vice Admiral Anthony Wins, and Major General Ronald Johnson will join us for the passing of the torch.
Good evening once again. Each branch of service acts as a pillar of strength, support, and honor for one another and for our nation. And with the passing of this torch, we trust that next year's leaders will endow this event with the spirit of celebration and honor the achievements of those in service from all walks of life. This torch is passed to show the unity of our leadership.
And now, a few words from the Vice Commandant of the United States Coast Guard.
Wow, what a special privilege and an honor, and I want to thank General Hoganson and the entire National Guard Bureau for carrying that torch with such pride over the last year. We certainly look forward to doing the same. And I want to thank all of you on behalf of our Sentinels of your United States Coast Guard. We look forward to serving and continuing the excellence next year at the Bay of Stars and Stripes Award, the excellence that you saw here demonstrated today. You know, we at the Coast Guard value the talented workforce that has led to these awards, and we honor the past recipients and founders who started this tradition. We accept this torch and the commitment it symbolizes, which is excellence and opportunity for all service members, past, present, and future. I look forward to seeing everyone at next year's BEA Awards in Baltimore once again, February 14th, 2025. Thank you all.
And we do want to take a moment to thank everyone in attendance, the founders, the award winners, service members, and everyone who stands with them and supports them at home. Now, if the awardees, presenters, founders could please make their way to the stage for photographs. Thank you. If you could make that happen soon. Also, the conference co-hosts, we want to thank you, Lockheed Martin, the Council of Engineering Deans, historically black colleges and universities, also U.S. Black Engineer and Information Technology Magazine. We also want to thank our conference technology host, that is Google, and our conference co-sponsors, Actilent and RTX. Not to mention our official airline, Southwest Airlines, who we hope that the snow will not disrupt anyone's flight. Our academic sponsor, Morgan State University, thank you and your wonderful choir. Stars and Stripes event sponsor, BAE Systems, Booz Allen, Hamilton, Diamondback Energy Incorporated, GE, General Dynamics, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, RTX, the Boeing Company, and Worldwide Technology. And we appreciate your dedication to the BEA Stars and Stripes program. Please enjoy the rest of your evening and your time here at the STEM conference. You can visit STEM City USA, Collin AI Digital Archives, and BEA.org to revisit memorable moments and get up-to-the-minute information on upcoming and current events. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night.
We all stand tall and we all stand proud, with our heads held high and our spirits loud. We fought for freedom, we fought for rights, with honor and courage we fought the good fight. We're the black soldiers, black sailors and airmen. We stood tall through and remember when, for our country and our people we sacrificed.